the end of April, the book was published. Around about November, there was somebody knocking at my door. I'd moved to a new flat in North London, Crouch End. I opened the door. My wife had gone out for a walk with Josephine, the baby, and I was in the flat by myself. I opened the door and there was this man standing there. He says, "Oh, good morning. My name is." She gave me a name, and I've got instructions from the local telephone exchange to come and rewire your flat. All the telephones, we're going to rewire all the telephones in the building, changing the voltage to a new voltage, 40 volts. So if you don't mind, can I come and have a look at your telephone layout? And I said, well, yes, we can have a quick look, but there's not much point coming in now because I'm just about to go out. I shall be out all afternoon, in fact. There'll be nobody here. It's foolish, you might think. But in fact, I was already thinking, suppose these people are not genuine, suppose they're housebreakers, I'd like to know exactly when they're going to come and break into my house. And he went out and he spoke to his mates who were outside, and he said up on to the roof. We had a flat roof in the building at that time. And the thing was, something already ticking in my mind was the fact that he said 40 volts. And I know something about the telephone system, and it doesn't run on 40 volts. No. So as soon as he'd packed up and gone, I then picked up the phone, and I phoned the local telephone exchange, Cawdell telephone exchange. I said, have you sent somebody around to this address, please? And they said, no, sir, we haven't sent any engineers around. I said, thank you. As the very next, I telephoned the local police. I said, I think I've got burglars who are planning to come round. If I'm right, they're going to come round this afternoon because I told them the flat's going to be empty. And the police said, well, if they do come round, can you phone us again and tell us that? Yes, I remember that very clearly. I said, well, never mind, because I think I can handle it from this point on. And I went around the flat, preparing the flat, hiding hammers in certain strategic places under cushions, and locking some doors, opening some windows, and so on. And just lay low, switching off everything, just lay low. Until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, knock on the doors, then again. I didn't answer. About 5 minutes, knock, slightly louder. I still didn't answer. Mm-hmm. Yes. So now, after a time, I can hear footsteps walking across the roof. Yes, to where the window has been left open by them. So I think it's probably now a good time to go and phone the police. And I phoned the police again. I said, remember I phoned earlier about the police, about these gentlemen. Well, we've had a change of shift at present, so we don't know. I said, well, forget it, I'll handle it. And I said, at this point there was knock at the door. I said, well, let's just send a police run straight way around. And I went over the door and let him in. He said, oh, you're in, are you? And I said, well, yes. And I heard you knocking, but I was asleep until some time. Well, anyway, he says, just come and do what you have to do. So he picked up his bag. It contained all sorts of very odd implements and things. It contained something like metal handcuffs, which I thought was a bit odd for telephone engineers. It contained rope, contained wire, contained a badge, it contained a typical GPO kind of at work kind of sign. He walked past me straight into the sitting room, went to the telephone, took the telephone off its hook, cut through the wires, pulled the wires out of the wall. And I'm looking at him and I said, well, excuse me, but before you go any further, can I just ask who you are? Are you from a telephone exchange or not? So he said, oh, I'm terribly sorry, and I'll show you my GPO card. He produced a genuine GPO card. Post office card. I said, oh. I think for a bit while I was busy about his job, and I say, well, I think I want to tell you then that I have actually asked the police to inform the police that the telephone exchange is not aware of you, and just so you are aware of the fact that, because I'm now of course possibly believing that I've made a fool of myself. He said, well, it's no problem at all. So it happened just last week. Two days ago this week, we were in a bank and just exactly the same thing. They notified the police and everything there too. Bold as brass. And he thinks a bit and he carries on. After a while he says, well, anyway, I've got to go down to the car and get a few more things. And he's saying about talking about going down to the van and so on. So I'm about to say, well, I'm going to have to ask you to remain long enough for the police, so that you're still here when the police come. But I don't have to, because at this moment there's a thunderous knocking at the door. And I said, well, that'll be the police at the door now, if you don't mind. And I went, and he looked very ashen-faced. The police came in, and they said to me straight away, which one is the ringleader? Which is the ringleader? So I said, well, the man you call the ringleader is the chief engineer is this gentleman here. The police went over him and said, oh, right, you got it. I said, but he's got actually a GPO card. Well, in that case, well, give me the GPO card. The man handed over the GPO card, and the priest takes it, puts his hands on it. He says, right, now what name is on this card? And the man didn't know the name of his own card. So everyone that was on, it was just plain sailing. They were all arrested, taken away. They were brought down off the roof, all the people, all the wire and everything. And the police came back that evening, and they said it was a bit strange. They said they were Jews and on the lookout for letters proving you were in contact with Martin Bormann in South America. So I said, but I started laughing when they said that. I said, well, if they want to speak to Martin Bormann, they should have come back sometime before May the 2nd, 1945. That's when he committed suicide. And from that moment on, I mean, they went up to the assizes. They pleaded not guilty all the way up to the assizes, and they were given criminal convictions for housebreaking and the rest. They were all Jews. His name was Gerald Gable. Gerald Gable. He's now become a leading expert on the fascist movement in Britain, and he's leading Antifa. And his sidekicks, one sidekick was called Manny Carfel, and the other one is called David Friedman. Manny Carfel was, he stayed clean for about the next 10 years, and they sent him down for arson, and he went to prison for a very lengthy term indeed. He burned down the printing works.